Mike's hot. Welcome. And give me a second because I need to actually do topics real quick. But welcome to Greatest League Talkshow pre-show. While I had to do production by myself because I got the keys late from Mark, as well as the fact that Josh is not here because of extenuating circumstances. So because of that, bear with me as I move quickly through these and go back to the other slide. So today's first game was, oh yeah, I don't remember that series. That one was not very good. And the last one being Fox versus Dig. Cool, and then I just need to move up the power rankings a little bit. Okay, not like that. Perfect. We'll go back to this slide. Excellent. I need to turn off this full mode. Alchemist OSD. Hold up a sec. Perfect production work from yours truly. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Greatest League Talkshow. I am your host, Scarra. If you're here, you already know who I am. But I'd like to introduce my co-host, who's actually not here with me today, who should be here, Josh. He's unfortunately busy, so I have to kind of run the pre-show by myself today, which means that essentially I'll just be waiting with you guys for Mark. So it'll be like a group meeting where we just wait together. But yeah, today should be pretty wild when it comes to the power rankings. We'll have that later today, as well as we'll cover all 4 of the other games. So until Mark gets here, you're just stuck with me, and I'm conversely just kind of stuck with you guys. Yoona couldn't make it today, by the way, because he was busy, so I actually couldn't find anyone to fill in last minute. Anyways, usually on the pre-show, we end up talking about random stuff. I think yesterday we played Guilty Gear. Weeks before, we talked about current events. I actually don't have much to talk about. Sunday is always probably the slowest pre-show because we have everything we want to cover Saturday. And I covered the Dardock stuff Saturday. There's not too much I want to talk about just in general. So, aside from, I got nothing, guys. If you guys want something, this is going to turn into a mini Q&A. Feel free to ask me some stuff. Well, look at last week's power rankings. I'm not going to look at it till later in the day. Mark wants me to do it while the games are going on. Sub A-Ram pre-show. No, I'll pass. Any thoughts on the NA LCS playoffs? I didn't watch them, so I was not surprised that United ended up winning, or Goldcoin ended up winning. I kind of expected them to do that. Aside from that, pretty much, I don't know. I just think Licorice is a really good player. It's really like my end to that idea. Any word on what patch playoffs is going to be on? I have no idea. I'm assuming it's going to be the next patch. Should be either this patch or next patch. Actually, a good thing for me to talk about is generally like the state of patches. Usually we talk about this on Beyond the Rift, but Beyond the Rift has been gone for a while. So the state of patches as is essentially the concept that everyone thinks 7.13 was like the wonder patch, where if life could be held in that patch, like that was the perfect balance for competitive League of Legends ever. To some extent, I do agree with that. I think that patch with Fiora plus Caitlyn nerfs would have been pretty much the best patch competitively I've seen since the start of Season 3, or just in general. I think it might have been the best balanced patch ever. But unfortunately, Riot didn't want to stick on that. So I don't think mixing up is that bad, but we're kind of stuck in a meta where like I think the jungle just feels really bad to play right now. Like feels really bad to play and kind of bad to watch as well. Do I think they'll nerf Cinderhulk junglers before the Worlds patch? I kind of hope so. I think there should be a good variety in terms of potential picks for the jungle, and it shouldn't be like we should just all pick tanks in the least, because I don't think that's very good. How can I have the audacity of the show called Greatest League Talkshow and not watch those games? Wait, which games? The NACS games? Because this show is primarily about the games that are interesting to me, and all the LCS games. So I watched all the LCS games minus last week. But yeah, the NACS games kind of weren't very interesting for me. It would have been a different story if I was playing them, but unfortunately, I suck at jungles, so that didn't happen. Do you think that tank and carry junglers can both be viable at the same time? Absolutely. I think there's a good balance between the two, and unfortunately, I don't think the balance is right now. Thoughts on Dignitas? I think Altec and Adrian salvaged, and the current tank meta kind of salvaged the team to where like Keen is kind of really the only semi-inconsistent factor, and everyone else on the team is playing at a good level. So because of that, and especially the bot lane coming in being really, really strong, that they're looking like a good team, like an actual good team. Oh yeah, I mean Shrimp is kind of inconsistent, but I think on tanks it's harder to like actually throw the game super hard as opposed to playing on like, let's say, Lee Sin. There's a lot of people ask me about Beyond the Rift. Since I started on another show with PewDiePie, it will be back sometime in August. Exact details, specific details, I can't announce yet because I'm not exactly sure. But as soon as we find out, I'll let you know. If I could change one thing about the other Fox, what would I change? Probably me starting jungle like a month early would have been nice. Or hopefully like us not picking up 3 mid laners would have been fun. But you kind of deal with the hand you're dealt. How was the ice cream yesterday? Oh, dude, what the heck? I went to a nearby ice cream place yesterday, and it was actually really good. Like, super good. I don't really do dessert much, but it's really, really good. Just complete aside. Who's the best support in LCS right now? I don't know. I think Ole, Aframu are making good cases. A little iffy on Smoothie. He's not performing as good as he was last split, or the competition's gotten a lot better since last split. And I think Biofrost is always really good, but it's hard for me to say he's the best. Do I think Gold Coin United stand a good chance of winning the relegation tournament? Probably not. I think maybe one of the teams does, and that's it. It's really hard to, like, the odds are stacked against you if you're going to the relegation tournament. So if you're the challenger team, you have to play against people who are consistently playing in the LCS on stage against better, superior opponents all year. And then as a challenger team, you're always playing catch up because the competition you play against is worse. And you're not putting those heavy situations, like the stage situations, as much as the other teams. And so it's always going to be kind of stacked against you. They have a player to look for in spring 2018. It's too far away, man. I don't even know who's quitting the game yet or not. I think Altec and Adrian will keep their strong play or falter. I have no idea. I think that there's a good chance that they will keep up their play. From what I understand, relegation matters because, sure, franchising is happening next split, but you get I've heard it. You get a $3 million penalty if you're not in the LCS and you want to get a franchise spot. And so that's a pretty hefty sum. Like even if you're a multi-million-dollar company, you don't want to be accruing a $3 million fine because you're not in the LCS right now. And so because of that, yeah, it's still kind of important. Fly is the best mid laner in NA, including mid laners in the LCS. I want something of what you're smoking, man. Come on. Are you serious? He struggled to break top 4. Have I been playing more HOTS? No, I haven't touched the game in a while. I kind of swung over to okay. Let's talk a little bit about something I'm sure some people are interested in. So I've recently picked up fighting games as like a thing because I'm like it's just fun to learn how to do new stuff, and so I've been committing like a couple hours a day trying to get better at it. Still will probably suck for at least a couple weeks to like months. But I realized the timing of it is really bad because next weekend, Path of Exile comes out with their new expansion, and I've been meaning to play that expansion for like months now. And I know everyone at Riot like hardcore grinds that game, and so I'm sorely tempted to like forego everything else and just play PoE for like a couple weeks. Poke, man, do you play PoE? I'm kind of interested, a little bit down. Do you think C9 will make it to Worlds? No, unlikely, unless they do a miracle run again. Have I been watching Twitch anime? Oh, that's something good to talk about. Okay, so recently Twitch does Anime Presents, which is essentially 24 hours of nonstop anime. I think it's really cool, actually. I've been like kind of glancing at it here and there, not really spending that much time, but I think the reason why Twitch is like a good medium is because of Twitch chat. Like it honestly makes stuff so funny sometimes. So when you're watching anime and you look at Twitch chat's reactions, you're just like, oh my god. It's great. I think that sometimes it'd just be nice to have Twitch chat for everything that happens because it just adds another level on top. I think they did a couple animes I wasn't really interested in, and then I think they did Dragon Maid Kobayashi, which is pretty good. I think everyone loves that one. Ole or Jensen MVP? Wait, what about like, my boy Smithy? Come on, man. I'm not going to release my MVP vote yet. I'm going to keep it secret. No one's going to know about it except for me. And I will sell my vote to the highest bidder. For all you Jensen fans out there, Ole fans are you. All of those Keith McBree fans out there, you know my PayPal, man. If you want me to vote for your boy, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, all the Golden Glue fans as well. You're right. Fans of any player. I'm not picky at all. My vote, it's not that you can buy my vote. It's that you can help me make my vote. Just think about it a little bit. I actually don't know if I have a vote this year. Usually they give it out to press as well as associated like people. So I've been given the potential MVP vote or like press voting for every year that it's been out, except for maybe this year I don't think I get it because I'm not on the NA LCS analyst test this year. I'm not doing anything closely related to Riot except for doing Greatest League Talkshow. And I don't think necessarily that means my credentials or they consider my credentials high enough to be able to consider me in the voting. And if that's true, then that's okay. It happens. I was thinking about getting the cool typewriter keyboard you got. Would you recommend? Okay. So recently I tried the Azio, some really, really fancy swank keyboard. I posted it on Twitter if you want to take a look. In terms of product review, I think you shouldn't... You obviously give up a little bit of performance for aesthetics. My personal opinion about the matter is that it's not a big deal if you have smaller hands. So I got like fat fingers. I would probably not recommend the keyboard if you have like similar sized fingers as I do. If you got small dainty hands, I think the keyboard's great. But I got like sausage fingers. It's a little bit hard because due to how the keycaps work, you rotating between the keys on the keyboard is a little bit more annoying than you would like. And I've used mechanical keyboards for like 8 years, so I personally would almost never. I would never go back to anything that wasn't mechanical. What teams do I think will go to Worlds? Okay, let's start at the very top. I think TSM will go to Worlds. Just right here. Team Solo Mid, 100% making it. I also think Immortals, very highly likely. The last spot is going to be between COG or Dignitas. And that is not Mark, ladies and gentlemen. That is Miles Horde. Blitzcrank extraordinaire. He baited me so hard because I turned and I was like, oh, wait, Mark can't get in. Oh. Mark can't get in because he doesn't have keys. I have his keys. So I have to check if he ever... You reminded me, Miles. Good work out there, man. Yeah. So if I ever need anything, I got this. Dude, Miles, what should I talk about today?
Not League of Legends.
All right, what else should I talk about?
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr.? I've never eaten at that place.
What?
I think in my life I've eaten there once.
You're
ever.
Crazy.
I don't think it's that good.
Among fast food chains, it is definitely like...
Oh, we're...
plus tier.
Miles, get down on this couch. I'll have a debate with you right now.
No.
There is no chance Carl's Jr. is even in the top 3.
What?
I will fight you on this. Are you serious?
Alright, I'm out of there. Fine.
Oh my god.
It's subjective, okay? I love Carl's. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's subjective if you have bad taste. I'm just saying. Oh my god. Alright, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with it. I just don't think Carl's is that good. I had it once, I was very unimpressed.
Go eat your bougie ass fast food.
My bougie fast food. Come on, man.
Yeah, bougie fast food. It's kind of an oxymoron, huh?
Come on. Make daydreaming come on stream. Dude, daydreaming? Miles Daydreaming Horde is the only LCS finalist in the room. Actually, I think he's the only LCS finalist within the current 3 miles to this address. I just want to know, this is the exclusive company that I keep on a week-by-week basis.
Yeah, dude. I used to wreck your ass.
See? You hear that, dude? He still got that shit talk. That's what happens. So Miles has switched from being a League of Legends player to being a professional Smash player. So look out for him at the top of the MIOM Melee rankings next year. Is that what it is? Meom? Is that what it's called? They have like a top 100 rankings, right?
Yeah, them and like, I don't know, didn't Red Bull do it this year or something? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, look for him on the Meom. Is that what it's called? I'm sure that's close enough. Oh wait, Immortals has 0 points and C9 has 70 points to make it to Worlds. But that just means that you just have to go through the wait. So it's the winner the highest point team and the gauntlet winner go to the Worlds. Holy, I didn't see how many points people have because I actually forgot, like straight up. I literally just completely forgot about points. So yeah, there's a good chance C9 will make it in. Talking about Kane, I've actually never played them. So I don't think Kane does well in the tanks, because if he does, you'd see him being picked a lot more. I think he's uniquely, like, he's okay, but he's not exceptional. Yeah, me and Mark don't hate C9. Are you serious? Literally, I spent like 4 weeks, like, essentially being like, Jensen is my god. Like, it's just that when you do an analysis show, I'm going to key in on certain things. Everyone's like, obviously a little bit biased. You come here for my bias. I try to be very subjective, but there's no way where like, unless I'm using just like raw data points, can I be like perfectly like not subjective. What's the word? Impartial, you know? And to be fair, being impartial is boring, man. I want to be subjective. I want there to be some kind of like thing. When I say, I'm going to say it like something really crazy. I think, what's something real crazy, Miles? What's something crazy in the LCS that you wouldn't hear a lot?
Don't rope me into your fucking pre-show. Get out of here. Leave me alone.
Come on. All right, I'm gonna leave Miles alone. My bad. I don't got it, dude. Actually, I can't even say I think TL is a good team because I don't believe that. That's not true. Speak of the devil. Is that Mark? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my controversial statement to myself. You'll find out next time on the next episode. I'll be right back.
Should I lock the door?
Alright.
Oh god, I'm such a mess today.
Dude, join the club, man. Actually, by the way, we don't have the power ranking slide. I couldn't find it because I feel like kind of late, so I was like,
Wait, I thought Josh made the power ranking slide.
No, because yesterday we had no need for it. I don't think.
I think I know where it is.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
build it
yeah.
later.
Okay.
I gotta tweet something. I forgot to tweet too. Oh. So, that's a controversial statement.
What?
I'm gonna try and do this show while not having my notes.
That's not controversial, man. Come on. Are you serious?
Did you tweet?
Yeah, I tweeted like at the very
Did
beginning.
you not tag me?
Oh, no. I just like tweeted instantly.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. You don't need to tag me, dude. I get it.
Are you serious?
It's time for another quote retweet. Have all my traffic for free, bro.
Dude, here's the.
I'm growing you so much.
Here's the. We're having a controversial statement, right?
Scarra.
What?
Scarra doesn't like Carl's
Junior.
Jr.
Come on, dude. Actually, that's fine. People have my back. Are you serious?
I like Carl's Jr.
If I was straight up like Whataburger is the number one fast food chain.
All right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's barely a chain.
There's so many locations.
What, like that compares to what? Compared to McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell,
In
KFC?
Come on.
Everyone thinks you're saying Waterburger as opposed to Whataburger.
Have you guys ever been to Whataburger? It's so good.
Waterburgers.
It's so good. All
Have
right.
you ever been to Wahlburgers?
Wahlburger.
Mark Wahlberg.
Shut up.
No, it's a real thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't believe
The
you.
Wahlburgers. I'm gonna Google it right now because I can't be wrong. Wahlburgers. I don't even finish typing it in. Wahlburgers.
That's just a prank by someone.
No, it's fucking. Look, always fucking foods, location. Oh, I pressed news. I meant images. Yeah, there's their fucking Wahlburgers. There's Mark Wahlberg in the picture.
That's an actual place?
Yeah, the Wahlburgers. I don't know if I'm getting anywhere close to it, but.
Alright.
Never had it.
That's enough for me. Okay.
Yeah, let's get into it. Did you do the topics?
Yeah, I did topics.
Alright.
I'm a responsible adult.
Unlike that Josh Kim kid.
Oh, but I didn't move the arrow, so
That's
you didn't move all the way
That's
up.
fine.
Anyways, welcome to the Greatest League Talkshow, guys. Our LCS, North American LCS analysis show. It's week 8. Finalizing week 8.
What is this?
And, dude, we're not going to fix the arrow, man. Don't worry about it. Anyways, it's the second to last week before the normal season ends. I'm joined by my co-host, Mark Zimmerman, NA LCS analyst desk, just guru, genius.
Always here.
Always here. Doesn't even need notes because he's got everything in his head. Anyways, I'm ready. I'm good to go. You good to go?
I'm good to go without notes. As good as I'm going to get.
All right.
Let's go quick before it leaves my mind.
Okay. Well, the first two series, I don't think you need many notes for. So
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with CLG versus
P1.
P1. This series was a 3-game series where P1 won.
Yeah. CLG won game 1 in like the most dominating fashion ever, and then lost game 2 and game 3.
Yes. So it's kind of upsetting, like a little bit of also a big upset, right? But it's especially big because CLG has a really good record against lower ranked teams. I think their record is 18-2.
And this being the other one, or is that before this?
Is before this. And so it's like they just don't lose many series against lower ranked teams ever. But in this situation, they lost against potentially the worst team in the LCS. So real big news. Anyways, the first game was a stomp.
Yeah, there really wasn't that much to say about it. They kind of just like went the fuck off horribly.
What you do have to focus on this series is CLG's kind of fascination with level 1 invading Raptor camp. So they did all 3 games. First game, big surprise, right? And they were able to take pretty much the whole camp but one.
Mike Young's on Lee Sin. I think he just starts red as opposed to on Raptors.
Yes.
So he comes back and he's like, oh, all my littles are gone. This is fucking annoying.
And which allows Omar God to just like do a full clear. And like, so he doesn't even have to function within the team to be able to do anything. He was able to go bot lane to find the gank through the lane. And they do a 3-man rotation from mid to jungle to top lane to dive Alarim. And essentially, this is where they put in
the
Alarim.
Pyrian as well. Pyrian and Alarim are playing this game. And, I mean, it's hard to say how good Alarim did because he kind of just got fucked by the entirety of CLG. Whereas, like, okay, normal landing phase. Okay, there's 3 people diving me and I'm dead.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes in. And so this was really a game where, okay, CLG control top side. They had shoving lanes in both solo lanes, so they control top side. Then they ran into control bot side.
Went behind the turret.
Yeah, and then they essentially just ran whatever side of pressure they wanted, and they got everything that they wanted for free. It's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, this game was a total stomp, and I basically stopped watching this game slowly over time. Well, like, because CLG was just smashing it so hard, and at the same time the C9 series was going on, which was just like the craziest fucking game probably of the year so far, or the split at least. It was I was way more focused on that one because I saw them fuck Alarim, I saw them do all this side lane stuff, and I was like, this game is over.
Yeah, I think there was maybe one chance that CLG could have gotten like pressured in the enemy blue buff area, but not really. This game was pretty much over from the very beginning.
Yep. Moving on to game 2, if you're ready to.
Yeah.
Game 2. God. I don't know what this draft was, to be honest. Like, it feels like they know that P1 likes to do early game shit, and P1 takes Nidalee, and so CLG is like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to draft so much early game that the Nidalee's never going to get off the ground. Yeah, we'll take Lucian mid for Huhi, and we're going to go fight him everywhere so the Nidalee doesn't get going. It's like, no, wait, that's what he wants. He wants a scrappy early game. You're handing it to him.
I mean, to be fair, I can't even evaluate the game well. Because
of what happened level 1.
Yeah, this literally, okay, level 1, they get a free kill, and then what ends up happening is there's a bot lane fight where after the free kill given to P1.
Yeah, because so basically they go for that Raptor and Veiga, and then there's a Braum on the enemy team. Boom, Braum level 1, stun, you're dead.
Yes, and then Nidalee, of course, wants to pressure the early game really hard. Goes buff. I think she goes buff to buff, essentially going red to the enemy blue.
She gets 3 somehow. So did she get 3 because of the kill?
I think she.
Well, it's Raptor's red. Blue.
Raptor's red blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they ended up invading for the blue, and CLG's like, we got this, dude. Let's collapse on them. They collapse them, and they get 2 for 0. So it's 3.
I think it was 3 for 0.
Oh, it was.
Maybe it was 2 for 0. No, it was 2 for 0
because
it was
2 for 0. So it ends up 3 for 0 within the span of 3.5 minutes.
And the way they played it too was just awful. Where like Afro's too far forward, he has to flash out, and then like Stixxay just runs forward as Afro's flashing out. He gets stunned up. He has to flash out.
He realizes like his mistake. He doesn't even auto attack. It's like so bad. You're just like, he knows he messed up because he hesitates on his flash too, and you're just like, Jesus, this is so ugly.
And then the collapse might have worked if he could have flashed the wall to help kill Nidalee with Huhi, but he couldn't do it. So Huhi goes in by himself. He gets killed. And then Omar God, was he the one who died?
Yes, he was. Omar came in, he died too, and every summoner for CLG is down.
And double buffs are on Nidalee and somebody else.
Yeah, it was just like the ugliest early game possible for CLG. And rather than CLG trying to stabilize, usually if you're like a better team, you tend to try to stabilize. Like, it doesn't matter if the other enemy team has a kill. You just kind of wait till the gold advantage is shrinks because...
if you hold it at 2 or 3K for 15 minutes, then it's not going to matter as much.
But CLG scrapped up this game so hard. And to the point where like they kept trying to make stuff happen with high gold deficits against like early game Nidalee. And it just ballooned to an enormous lead.
Yeah, so this one, super snowbally again, but this time in P1's favor. Brings us to game 3. And this game, it was like... they kind of went back to what they did game 1 for the most part. It was a pretty similar draft to their game 1 draft. They have Talia, Jarvan, Maokai.
So before we talked about how like we don't like Jhin if early due to 2 tanks. Were you okay with Jhin when they have Kled Gragas?
It doesn't feel as bad because Kled Gragas. What was the support again? It was it Braum?
It was Janna.
It was Janna. So that's why I was fine with it. No, they had Janna. They had Jhin.
Yeah.
What was the enemy team support?
Oh, it was Braum.
Yeah, it was Braum.
Kalista.
It was Braum, and they banned out his Bard and his Morgana. So he took the Janna for the lane. It feels a little bad then, because then you are into triple tank. So I didn't super like it.
Yeah, I think their priority on early Jhin is not great, especially if their support matchup it doesn't like enable it as well as it can. And in this situation, the most surprising thing to me is that their bot lane just ended up losing.
Kind of. I thought what happened was just pretty unfortunate where like Darshan kind of fucked up and kind of like ruined the team in that dragon fight. Because what happens is Omar guy gets first blood, he ganks bottom, and then they try and transition that into an early Infernal Drake.
Yes, and then Darshan TP's in, overextends too hard.
Well, he doesn't flag and drag, he just pokes. He goes flash, and then he wants to go
Q?
EQW, and he just goes flash WQ. He like missed the E key.
Yeah.
So he never drops the flag. He could have got a 3-man knockup for the team to chase through with. Doesn't get that. Just ends up with no flash now and no repositioning tool. He gets killed, and then they lose the dragon as well.
I still don't think that this means that
they're not fucked.
Yeah, I think it just means that the bot lane should be about even, you know, or like a little bit. But it just felt like that Stixxay and Afro got hard pressured the entire laning phase, to the point where they lost first turret relatively early, and that kind of signaled like kind of the snowball of the game.
Yeah, it was like definitely a quote unquote winnable game for CLG from that point on. It was just like they made a good play and it instantly fucked it up right after. And then it wasn't, I forget exactly what happened. There was that top skirmish in the jungle that turned out really bad for them. I think it's like 19 minutes or something.
They lose a team fight starting with Omar getting picked.
Yeah, Omar gets picked. Darshan tries to go in again, doesn't get a kill.
And then and to be fair, Arrow played this series
that's
really
the
well.
point. Yeah,
his Kalista is just like straight nasty.
This was like one of the few times this split where Arrow has looked like Arrow from last split.
Yeah, not even just like outside of lane. In lane, he did really, really well. Because in game 2, he like solo killed Stixxay when like Afro was backed.
Yeah.
And then in game 3, he's hard pressuring them with like special under tower, gets the first tower. Outside of lane, he's playing the team fights really, really well. Watch his positioning. He's sneaking in like perfect autos and like getting Q snipes on. He like killed Huhi by being able to play the fight really well.
That was a fight again where it was like CLG just didn't back off when they could have and played it correctly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Stixxay actually played that fight so bad too.
Hui overextending, and yeah, it felt like Stixxay and just in general their bot lane wasn't doing too great. Usually, what happens if Stixxay plays poorly, Afro moves on like an initiation support, so it doesn't super matter.
Yeah, that's something that definitely felt like where with Omar God stepping in, he's not as good of an initiator, and then it's almost entirely on Darshan then.
Yeah, so Darshan had a pretty poor performance, like pretty bad game.
Yeah.
And like they can't have a bad game on Darshan and expect to win with they're only on initiation on the guy who's played like 4 LCS games.
Right, and that one fight that cost them Baron where Arrow positioned super well. Stixxay was like in auto attack range as Jhin, and then he has to reload, and instead of staying in auto attack range and just reloading and then continuing to fight, he runs out of range and then starts ulting. And then the fight gets really scrappy, and then at the end of the fight, when he could potentially ult from behind his turret to get kills, it's on cooldown.
Yeah. I mean, and we saw this happen yesterday as well, I think with Altec.
Yeah.
Was it? Where,
I think it
was someone else. But
we don't play Jhin that much.
It was just a situation where, like...
Cody.
Oh, it might have been Cody, where you just don't want... As Jhin, your ulti should be saved for, like, either the very beginning to get the pick, or the very, like, end of the team fight to clean up. If you do it in the middle, you lose so much DPS uptime.
And sometimes it's fine to do if it's like the fight is so far away from you that like literally you won't be doing damage then. But this was a situation where he just had to reload and keep hitting frontline, and it would have been fine.
Yeah. But yeah, this game, Arrow just got too big. I think with Arrow against especially triple tanks essentially, and Braum in front of the Kalista, I think Kalista ended this game 9-0. Something insane.
Yeah, Kalista pops fuck off.
With I think Ryu coming in with like 7 kills, to be fair, he did do decent amounts of damage during the team fights, but I think he was relatively left free because Kalista had all the pressure on top of her.
And a lot of the time, like these fights just started very poorly for CLG. That one that Stixxay misplayed was one of the few times it started well for CLG, but they were playing from behind, and then they didn't play.
Yeah, like their fights are like Omar gets picked, right, and then they try to start the fight 4v5.
Yeah,
and like maybe they can even out the score, and then Hui oversteps, and the fight's done.
Yeah, anyways, they lose the fight around mid lane. They get the Baron. I don't know if there's another fight worth highlighting in this game.
Nothing that I ended up writing down. It pretty much, the last team fight was Kalista just 0 for 4, like 4-0'd the other team.
Yeah. That was like near their inhib, right?
Yeah, it's at the point where like, when Jarvan is pretty much essentially completely useless at this point. He's not tanky, he doesn't have stone plate, so as soon as he gets tagged inside Braum's Sun, he dies.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens to Omar as well. And so neither of them can do anything to frontline at all for the enemy team. Jin's completely useless. Janna does nothing because Jin's useless, and Talia just exists. And so at some point, like they just got heavily like out-itemed.
Yep. So that was a pretty brutal series for CLG. It did feel like just they didn't play well today. Like I don't think Darshan looked as good as he did yesterday.
No, I think this is one of Darshan's worst series. And honestly, I have no expectations for Omar. Like, he didn't play great, but it's like, it's been like 1 week, like, I think he functions inside the system COG wants, but he's not like outstanding as individually.
I think game 1 was a great example of like what you want out of Omar, where like he ganked bottom with the help of Afro, and then he chunked out Mike Young, and then who he was like, let's roam top, and he followed who he top.
Yeah, and then every time they invaded the jungle, it was him plus Afro plus another person, like the top side into the bottom side, you know. And so like he fought like that's kind of what I see him doing until maybe like he gets more experience with the team, and then that's it. So I think with Darshan not playing great.
Afro on not initiators the second 2 games.
And to be honest, saying maybe having like one of his off series, worst series, this wasn't a good look for CLG.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too hard into it though, because game 2's draft was kind of weird, and game 3, like you said, a lot of misplays. But P1 snag a win, doesn't matter. Playoff teams are locked.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh.
Promotion relegation is not locked. Seeding not locked.
I think there's 5 teams in competition for the bye, right?
Technically, C9 is because they're tied with Dig, but no one thinks C9 can do it, whereas like Dig might have a chance.
Okay. Oh, we'll get more into that during the actual power rankings portion of the segment later.
Yep. So
or the show later.
With that, we'll move on to the second series: C9 versus FlyQuest.
This series was a 2-0 for C9.
It was 2 very, very different games with like one factor where like Jensen went off hard both games. But game 1 was like super close for a little while and just very bloody, and then game 2 was just literally a massacre. Like one of like the most painful games to watch. Like that's like you're watching bronze versus like gold, like plat, like just getting hard smashed.
This is a series where I have to highlight. I think Tarek is better than people think.
I think Tarek's amazing,
and something that we had talked about yesterday, and the fact that C9 actually might be a little bit ahead of the meta on other people, because before Smoothie used to be the #1 Tarek player in the LCS. You know, him and Stunt were the only 2 people playing it, and Stunt, I remember him like Flash and like Whiffy and Z. So like
on a Malzahar or something.
Yeah, so like for the most part, Smoothie was and is still the best Tarek player in North America, and it comes in and he does just work with it. And one of the games is a great example of that. We'll get into that game later.
I think that's game 2.
Yeah, it was game 2 where he just like literally just hard carries.
Game 1 was Blitzcrank Thresh bot lane.
Yes.
Against Caitlyn and Tristana. So one of the weird things in this series was that they gave up Caitlyn twice, I'm pretty sure, on the side of FlyQuest, which is a pretty strong champion, but FlyQuest is generally that team that trades out OPs anyways.
FlyQuest is the only team that on purple side, almost everyone bans Caitlyn Zach. And then you have X. The third ban is like, sure, we'll just do whatever.
Maokai,
yeah,
Elise.
Someone banned Camille later on in the series.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, that's not what they do. They ended up banning Galio, Elise, and Kench. And so the other, it forces the other team to actually third ban Zach, which I think is, by the way, hilarious. But yeah, they end up trading a bunch of OPs.
Yeah, but they're not. I think game 1 was the one where they got a couple OPs, and it made a little bit of sense. Game 2, I was not so fond of their draft. But yeah, game 1 just basically comes down to like scraps everywhere, nonstop. Early on, there's a bot lane fight to the death where like it starts out really well for FlyQuest, and then they kind of get hooked underneath, and then Sneaky's kind of kiting it out, and he gets 1 kill, and then Jungler comes in from behind, that gets another kill, and it's just back and forth kills all.
Yeah, Moon comes in, gets the kill. It actually ends up being like incredibly crazy, because not even a minute later, top side, they're trying to 1v2 balls on Rumble. Rumble actually almost 1v2s by himself. Moon shows up at the last minute, turns the game completely for a 2-0.
That was a horrible attempt out of Impact, to be fair, because he picks that fight without shopping it. Like, balls shops and recalls and teleports back, and like fucking they just gank him right away. Yeah. And it's Doran Shield Kled trying to all in the Rumble with items.
They just assumed they had more damage and they didn't think Moon was going to be there in time. I don't think it's an awful look, but something that's like very risky.
I think it's the kind of thing where if Impact was a better Kled, this wouldn't happen.
Potentially. Like, definitely the game shouldn't have gotten as bloody as it did.
Yeah.
Because I think the more bloody it is, like the worse it is for C9. Because like
yeah, they're losing this game pretty handily.
Yeah, because FlyQuest doesn't know how to they don't know, they're not playing like a standard game better than C9 is going into 30 minutes. So FlyQuest wants like these brutal scraps where they can try to like just randomly out skirmish the enemy team and come out 2 for 1 or 3 for 1.
somehow Jensen's on Syndra. I don't mean somehow he's on Syndra. Obviously, by the way, right now, every mid laner can get whatever fucking pick they want. No one bans mids at any point in the draft aside from maybe LeBlanc on blue side.
Yeah, I think maybe there's also been like Talia, but for the most part, tanks are just too good right now.
If you want Talia, you get Talia. If you want Corki, you get Corki. You want Ori, great, you got it. You want Syndra, great. You want Cassio, great. Like Keen's been playing Cassio nonstop. Jensen's on Ori nonstop. Or Syndra.
I think it's especially hard on purple side to do it because you're limited by the 2 bans you kind of have to do unless you're really confident being able to play against those 2.
Basically, right now, everyone's banning jungles, tanks, and supports, and like some ADs.
And 1 Caitlyn.
Yeah. Maybe Kalista if they're crazy. But like, yeah, for the most part, you can get whatever mid you want. So Jensen on Syndra. As everyone is dying, I think the score is like 8-8 or 8-10. He is 4-0-1.
Yeah,
he's like the only one who didn't die in the game.
He comes in to clean up some of the fights. Like Moon ends up going from top side to bot side, gets a kill on Sneaky. I think they get first tower off that.
Yep.
And then there's more action bot with Moon going on Sneaky, but then Jensen comes down, cleans up the fight actually, and Jensen ends up being like janitor for a couple minutes, and then ends up 4-0. Really good.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the shining beacon that slowly takes over the game. And it's like, some people call him a KDA player, and I don't know how the fuck he's a KDA. He's just, like, he did an interview where someone, I forget which caster was, asked him, like, you know, some people say you're a KDA player. What do you think about that? And he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm just better than everyone, and that's why I don't die and my KDA is higher. And then, like, you watch this game and you're like, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening.
Actually, the stuff that's most impressive to me is that, like, Jensen's really pushing himself out of lane a lot more.
Yeah, he's doing everything.
That's what he needs to do, and it's seeing him do that, like he's becoming that like full package player you want him to be. Not only that super lane dominant player that is great at dodging skill shots, he's also the guy who roams top lane to secure the lead with Orianna, roams bot lane to turn ganks with Syndra. Like he's doing a lot of work for his team. He's doing what he needs to do to secure that MVP for this split.
Yeah, I think he's playing super well. Maybe in the mid you saw like a little dip, but like just look at the series yesterday. As he tried TF once, he was like, that was dumb. And then he just goes to 2 Ori games and smashes on Syndra this game.
This game, I want to point out, like, I think, like, Lemon had too many deaths.
He died 6 times in, like, when they had 10 deaths, he had 6 of them, I'm pretty sure.
So what he ended up doing was he just essentially ran it down bot lane and kept looking for picks, like, by himself. And that's really dangerous when you have no vision of bot lane. No, like, real control bot side jungle. They would just brute force through, like, the tri-bush and hope that they can get stuff happening. And I think that that's such a dangerous way to play the game. Usually, if you're looking for that kind of pressure, like, you'll watch Envy do this. And when they have a bot lane lead, Haku will go in and ward both sides of the enemy bot jungle, so that, like, they can see the rotation from mid lane. But, like, that's not what Lemon ended up achieving. I think he got maybe 1 ward in the jungle. But for the most part, it was at the point where, like, he was taking a lot of risks doing what he did, and he got punished for it hard this game. His KDA reflected that punish.
Yeah, it was not just like, oh, well, he was making plays. It was like, no, dude, he's killing himself.
Yeah, he actually like ended up feeding away like a lot of the FlyQuest lead. But even with that being said, like it was very, very close.
So remind me what was the game-breaking play, because I remember the insanity in this game. I don't remember what C9 finally did to just like smash.
So what ended up happening was one of the situations was C9 ended up being in a bad position to contest Dragon, and so they cut off they had the inside track to mid tier 2. They went in for it, and when High ended up trying to walk up the Shockwave, and their team is essentially split up. Like High is in the middle, and their team's on the edge. Kled just gets a straight route to High, kills him there, and in the next team fight, Kled just kills High again. So like High gets somehow sold out by the Kled 2 team fights in a row, and then FlyQuest isn't able to do enough damage to be able to turn it over.
So they win a couple team fights, and then eventually they just force a Baron, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, what was your last note for this game? Because there had to be like
I just put that he died twice, getting run down by C9. Essentially C9 just ended up winning the game as soon as High ends up dying.
It was some kind of game where it was like 8-10 in kills. FlyQuest had a 2K gold lead, and then it ends up being like 20-10 in kills, like 20-12. Like FlyQuest just stopped winning the skirmishes really hard. So that was pretty nuts. Game 2 was just like, get the Jensen dick.
No, this game was like, okay, well...
To be fair, we gave Contracts player of the game.
Oh, well, he had 100% kill participation first 8 kills.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I wouldn't even say Jensen got this. Like, Contracts set up the first kill, right? Yep. Then you see Tarek come back, help set up the second kill. And you're just like, dude, I'm sorry, High. Like, you're just like... getting punished.
Goes into the so the first one I thought was really weird because he did a full topside clear, which people, one, don't do that much anymore, and two, when they did it back in the day, they would reset after it, but he just went back mid. So he ganked from the side that he started on much later than people are used to, which I think is maybe why it worked well.
I'm pretty sure that's why it worked, because that's such an inefficient route. Like,
yeah.
If that doesn't work, potentially you could get punished so hard as the jungler, your next 4 minutes are just negated.
Yeah.
And so, but they worked out, so.
Yeah, it worked out. They get the first kill. Like you said, next time they bring 3 men to it, they kill high again. And then Contracts invades the bot side jungle by himself and cuts off the bot lane's escapes.
Yeah, 2-for-0 the bot lane under tower, and the game is just like.
Yeah, right after they kill him under the turret, him and Tarek roam mid again, and they kill mid again.
Yeah, so this game is actually straight up just like a massacre. I actually stopped taking notes after that. I just put like Contracts 100% kill participation, and the game was over in 25 minutes.
And Jensen ended up with like 13 kills on LeBlanc. So like, even though his scoreline looked the craziest by far, it was 100% off Contracts.
Yeah, like I think Contracts and Smoothie especially this game like showed off like why Tarek is good in a lot of situations.
Yeah. So this was just a monster game out of them. FlyQuest was not close ever to being able to compete.
I think if this was FlyQuest's form like earlier in the split, you'd actually have like some sort of hope for them. Go.
True.
But like, yeah, this is way too late. They have too many problems to be able to shore up, and I don't see them really advancing. I mean, they can't advance.
No, the playoffs are locked.
Yeah, but.
I don't think they're so bad to be worse than TL or P1 though.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they're better than that. Even with players that like aren't that great individually, I think that they can still take away a lot of games.
Yep. All right, that'll bring us to our next series.
TSM versus Envy.
TSM versus do you want to do Fox Dig first?
Let's do Fox Dig first.
Do fuck TSM versus Envy. All right, Fox versus Dig. This was a 3-game series. Woohoo! Dig wins game 1 and game 3. Keem played pretty well. It was like pretty team efforts in games 1 and game 3. Game 2 was pretty close, but games 1 and game 2 were so fucking slow. In the first 40 minutes combined, like the first 20 minutes of game 1, the first 20 minutes of game 2, I think there was 2 kills.
No, game 2 was the one where Keith popped off. So like game 1 and I think 1 and 3 might have been slow.
I'm pretty sure game 2 was fucking slow too.
Oh, it might have been that I just remembered that it happened, but it was like relatively slow up until that point. Where the dragon fight.
It was a 20-minute dragon fight or whatever. Yeah.
Shit, then
Yes.
It was slow up until that point.
So game 1, I think Echo Fox gets first blood.
This is literally no kills, only objectives by Dignitas, and if you're playing the objective game against Echo Fox, you're probably winning.
Yes.
Because Echo Fox has no idea how to do it.
Right, so I forget how first blood happens. It doesn't really matter.
Somebody got solo killed by Brandini.
Oh yeah, what the
That
fuck?
was the most random thing. If I had bet on anything happening, like went to Vegas, I just threw my chips on the board for something.
This is the $1 million bet. Like you make this bet, like you win the lottery.
Yeah, like the odds for this are like 1 in like 1,000,000. And like it just so happens, and you're just like, I guess. And it ends up happening. Funny enough, he has like all the deaths for his entire team up until like the last.
Well, because like the game is basically ends at 3-1, and then they get a couple kills as the game ends. But it's actually a 3-1 kill game, for like 25 minutes. So what ends up happening is Dig takes 1,000,000 turrets, and then there's a dragon fight, and Keen just like hulks the fuck out. He does 5,000 damage by himself, whereas all of Echo Fox does less than that, and the rest of his team also does less than that. He does more damage than like anything. He's like 1v4ing the enemy team. They only get 1 kill out of it, and they get the dragon, but Keen's just popping off.
I mean, even before that, for the tower traits, it was essentially just like, okay, well, Dig gets the bot tower, then Dig rotates back top. Echo Fox tries to get tier 2 of bot lane, but they can't. Yep. And then Dig gets 2 towers top lane. So it's like, just from towers alone, they end up having like a 2k gold advantage, and they just ballooned that over the course of the game because Echo Fox doesn't find a way to be able to stop the enemy team. And not to mention, the enemy team has, what, Triss, Janna?
Triss, Janna, Cassio.
So they're going to get outskilled, like, pretty much regardless.
Yeah. This was just another game where Dignitas just goes to Baron and does it for free. Echo Fox don't even contest it.
They had no vision control, to be fair.
They were down dragons. The enemy team had mountain dragons and a Cassio. And Janna, Triss just sit mid, kind of bait, make it take a long time. Finally, the Maokai walks up, Gragas ult him back, finish the smite, and it's already done. It's just free.
To be fair, I think Dig has been doing a really good job with Barons this year. Like
they're the best Baron team, probably.
Yeah, which is funny, but no, they're actually doing a great job at Barons. Some of the Barons are more random. Like they're just like, you know what? Let's just do it right now. You know, and I would say it's not because like they're like strategically being like, oh yeah, the other team is probably back here. We see them over there, but the majority of the Barons they do are actually very good.
Yeah, so they are prone to the whole like, well, let's see what happens. Yeah. But they haven't been punished that much for those, and then they still have these kind of ones.
Yeah, I would say like at least 70% of their Barons are actually good calls, which is, my God, much better than most of the teams in the LCS.
My God.
Yeah, they're doing actually a really good job.
Yeah, so this game's super boring. 3-1. They get 2 more kills at some other like random skirmish. They take 1,000,000 turrets. They push down bot lane, and then they're ending the game before they get their next couple kills. I think it ends 5-2.
Yeah, where they pick up 2 kills at the very end of the
dying,
game. Yeah. Yes, literally lowest kill game I can even think of where Dignitas just flexes that they're better at objectives than the enemy team. Okay.
Game 2.
Second game, which was the slow game up until.
I think it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes where they do have a dragon team fight where I think this is the one game where if you put the camera on Keith and Brandini, both of them just like go crazy this game, actually.
Brandini goes pretty nuts.
Like, especially like maybe not specifically this fight, but Keith picks up 2 kills in this fight. So he plays the fights really well for the most part.
What is he on this game again?
He's on Kalista.
Kalista, right?
Oh no, he's on Varus.
So it's Varus, and then they have Brandini on Poppy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And Talia and Janna and something else.
This is probably Keith's best or second best game to split. And this is Brandini's best game.
And to be fair, I actually did like what they did in the draft where they left the Zac up to be taken away first. It gives them the Maokai pick so Dig doesn't get their Maokai. And then they have Poppy and Janna to stop Zac engage. And it's pretty fucking hard to play Zac against those two.
Oh, absolutely. And on top of that, they somehow found this weird synergy with Talia Poppy.
Yeah. It's like the old Anivia Poppy, but with Talia.
Yeah, and it was something where I was like, no one's ever going to do that in a real game. Turns out, the next fight they have top lane, near the Baron area, instantly the Talia wall comes out, Poppy pops someone instantly off the wall.
Yeah, just slams all tech into Talia's wall. Fight over.
And then the next one, he flashes on someone else during the same fight, slams him again, he gets 2 wall stuns, that fight's over.
Yeah. It took them a little bit of while to start winning these fights, but then once they started winning them over and over, they kept getting advantages.
Yeah, and you're watching Brandini, he hits like a great ulti, 2 great ults mid lane, like a great wall stun mid lane. Like this guy is actually
knockups.
Yeah, this guy's actually playing super well this game.
Brandini looks overall as a tank player much better than Looper. His Shen has looked fine. His Poppy has looked fine.
I'm not too sold on anything outside of his Shen yet, because to me, he was known as a 2-champion player. So in Challenger, he's known for playing 2 champs, Shen and Trundle, I'm pretty sure. And I know he plays Shen very well. But I don't know necessarily if he's better at frontlining, but he at least played what I've seen so far, and especially this series, he's playing it really well.
I mean, Looper looked good on Kennen and Jace. He never really looked good on, like, maybe Renekton was his best frontliner. I don't remember his like Shen looking good. His Shen, I remember going in at the wrong time with his team.
Yeah, I guess I do remember his Renekton games being not bad.
All I'm saying is Brandini has not looked great, but he also has looked okay on the tanks.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair.
Anyway, so yeah, another slow game. Some good team fights out of him. Froggen does decently well as well. It's a pretty good team.
It's actually probably ideal for Froggen in this situation that he gets no kills. So he's like an assist machine, and if the rest of his team has kills, like he'll always put out DPS regardless of his scoreline. I'd rather be in a situation where everyone else on his team has kills, and he plays more of like a secondary role.
Yeah.
But realistically, that's not going to happen much. It just ended up being in this position.
Right. So that brings us to game 3, which I don't remember super well right now.
Poppy, Maokai, Corki, Varus, Janna, Shen, Gragas, Cassio, Kalista, Blitz. It's where
I remember
Kalista,
this shit now.
Blitz.
Yeah, they go for Blitz stuff.
And to be fair, like it seems like it's working out, especially the Gragas ganking bot lane early, picking up a kill, and then they lose the 2v2.
So they do a really dumb thing where like, so yeah, Dignitas gets a bot lane gank early, works out, get a couple kills, and then they're going to pressure bot lane turret again, and they're about to take the turret, and then they just like start backing off to try and get the Kalista the gold, and then Janna shows up and shields it, and then Someday has to TP in. It gets this really fucked up team fight where they lose 3-1.
Yeah, Echo Fox is just so happy that happened because the scoreline evened out completely.
Yeah, they were about to get like snowballed on.
Yeah,
because they're about to lose first turret and stuff. But once again, Echo Fox really stalls out after that.
With P1 kind of extending a small gold lead.
Dignitas?
Wait, Dignitas
yeah.
extending a small. What did I say?
P1.
Oh god. Yeah, Dignitas extending a small gold lead. To be fair, like almost all the gold ends up being Altec getting a large CS deficit. Like they're just not able to accurately like allocate the resources necessary for everyone on their team to get farm. Altec comes out the big winner in this stall fest where he comes out like huge CS on top of the other AD carry. Yeah,
and eventually they start fighting for vision control around Baron, and they set up like it wasn't that nice. They just have Baron vision. The Cadian's on Maokai, and he's like a little bit too far forward. He gets punched up, tries to run away, gets hooked back, and he gets focused down first in the fight.
And then they get Baron.
Yeah, it's like a 3-for-1 or something. They take Baron,
and the game's over. It's a situation where I actually thought
it once again showed that like just Dignitas was better, because Echo Fox, after they won that bot lane fight, were kind of in the lead, but they were down all the dragons. I'm pretty sure they were just like bleeding objectives all over the place.
The one thing I have to say is I generally think that Gate and Keith played pretty well this series. Like with Altec and Adrian on the rise, it's rare to see like the duo lane. Like I would say Keith and Gate ended up getting 2 solo kills, right? In first game and third game onto the enemy bot lane, even in like an even situation. So I would say like somewhat small props to them. But generally, Dignitas is looking like a threatening team. A team that you want to have your eyes out for coming into playoffs.
Especially as CLG has to play them and TSM next week. It's pretty fucking hard last week.
Oh, yeah. That sounds brutal, actually.
So Dig win the series 2-1. Yeah.
They're good. Actually good.
Anything you want to say before we move on?
I don't want to overhype Dig too much. I've been there, but they're looking better than they expected. The series itself,
It wasn't super.
It wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful. They like Echo Fox struggles to do things, and Dignitas just didn't fight them. They just took shit around them. But it wasn't like, oh man, they smashed them. It was kind of just like, wow, that was clean. It's nice to see Dignitas can win that way, but I'd rather see them turn more plays.
Right. So it's a situation where it's like being even with Echo Fox 20 minutes in the game isn't like
2 games in a row.
Yeah, it isn't great. Whereas if you're an Echo Fox fan, you got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
What?
I can't get the fucking arrow. There we go. TSM versus NV.
Oh,
woo! What a series, dude. I'm glad this took so long.
Was it the second game that went like 40 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was the Lucian game. Okay.
I mean, all 3 games were relatively long. This is a really long series.
Yeah, this is a series where NV played very close to TSM.
It was kind of like the Dignitas Echo Fox series, where like Dignitas was just clearly a better team at understanding like minion waves, dragons, barons, vision control. But otherwise, it was close. This was another one like that, where Envy had some leads sometimes, but they just like always lost the barons or did nothing with their barons or whatever it was.
Like one of the things for me is it's just like this is a game where I felt like when you're watching COG play Envy the day before. COG did a great job controlling Lyra, which is the way that Lyra enables their team to function.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, that didn't happen at all this series. Like, TSM's game plan wasn't control the enemy jungler. It was just like, let's play our game.
And their game sucks dick right now, dude. They just fucking draft nothing that's meta at all. They have no playmaking supports. They randomly first rotation Varus with Kalista and Trista.
Oh, God.
They don't play, like, Maokai.
They play Nami. They play Karma.
Yeah, they play Gragas. They play random stuff. Like, I like their Syndra. Syndra's great. I don't mind Gragas. I don't mind Rek'Sai. I don't know what their support is doing bottom. I don't know what their tanks draft priority is at all. They just don't pick anything. And then sometimes Double Lift is like, yeah, Varus.
I honestly just want Double Lift to pick Trist every game. But it's like, that's not like good. I feel like that's not a great strategy for them. But it's a strategy that will work, you know?
I'm not like saying I hate a Varus pick either. I'm just saying like
I'm saying I hate the Varus, but you want to talk about that game 2? When we get there, we'll talk about the game 2 draft.
Start me off with game 1 then.
Okay, so game 1 draft was Gragas, Triss, Syndra, Shen, Lulu. So they picked
great draft.
Lulu.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Lulu's okay. I'm okay with
yeah,
the Lulu.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like you see hyper carry Triss Lulu with like tanks
and Shen. Yeah, and this game, Doublelift did 55,000 damage. So he hyper carried.
Okay, so against Cho'Gath, Kalista, Taliyah, Rek'Sai, Rakan, which isn't awful.
No, but this game starts out pretty bad for TSM, where they tried to dive bot lane at like 9 minutes or something, and they bring all 5 people down. It takes them forever to kill Rakan, so they're caught between 2 turrets, get collapsed on. I think it's a 4-for-1.
It's a 4-for-1 for Envy, which was just like, holy shit. They mismanaged their resources so bad, because it's like...
They blew everything killing the Rakan.
Yeah, if they're doing a 5-man play there, Doublelift wasn't even able to go past the tower.
He was in the turret the whole time.
Yeah, so it was just like, these 4 people are trying to make the play in the dive, and they just get crushed. And Doublelift's just like, oh, peace, guys.
I got first turret goal for myself. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, God. It was brutal, actually. But that's a situation where it's like, if the teams are equal skill and you give that up, that's...
Game over.
Yeah, that's pretty much game over.
But TSM is clearly the better team, because after that happens, they still trade turrets and like everything effectively to the point where they have a gold lead, I'm pretty sure. Or it's like it's like 1K.
It's relatively close. Like,
I think it's 1K for MB.
And
actually.
so like a good example of what you're saying is what happens with a good team is when they win the map. They win one side of pressure and they trade sides of pressure. They move to the other side. Usually they invade with like a lot of people to be able to make sure they can consistently put vision and then make plays on that side. What TSM did was when Envy tried to make the top side play, like they just had everyone waiting there. So they ended up like killing Lyra, or like pressuring Lyra super hard. Cho'Gath TPs in, gets killed for free, and then Envy's never able to extend that lead because like as they try to switch sides, TSM just like blocks him right there.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking game 3. Never mind, keep going. Give me the next big thing. So I remember game 3 really distinctly. I don't remember game 1 as well.
After the situation, Lyra flashes on Bjerg and they end up killing him. Envy gets another pick for a 2-for-0.
At some point, it's like 3-8 for Envy.
Yeah, and Envy's doing pretty good. And then what ends up happening...
Doesn't TSM just like rush a Baron?
What ends up happening is P1's really far ahead. And
who's P1, dude? You keep saying P1.
Why did I put P1?
Did you write just P1 for every team?
Wait, why did I put this? Alright, this is a random line. My bad. No, eventually it's TSM get Baron, but lose 2-for-0 to Envy that ends up collapsing.
Yeah, but it's like a situation where they force Baron, they take it away from Envy, so Envy can't get Baron and use it to keep snowballing.
And the way TSM plays out this fight from behind is actually so good. Doublelift, like they get pinched in the pit, and Doublelift just jumps out of the pit and starts shooting over the wall.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
He's got great team fight positioning here. And Bjergsen on the left side is like zoning out some people from coming into the pit. And Doublelift's just living the AD dream, which is free damage. But even with all that being said, they're still not in a great spot. Like, they lose this fight. Yeah. But they still get Baron. So isn't that like, it's fine for them.
Yeah, it's a situation where like eventually Envy will find out they can do Baron with Cho'Gath Kalista, because I think they had Kalista. And this stops them from being able to set up that kind of control, and then TSM would definitely lose that Baron. So the fact that they keep it off the table from Envy, even if they lose to people, is great. I think they even used it to start grabbing some turrets as well and really take the gold lead back a little bit.
And once we get to late game, you start to realize that like Rek'Sai has no way to initiate. Again, especially against Lulu Tristana, an AD carry will always outscale like tanks when you're approaching 5-6 items. There's just nothing you can do about it.
And Cho'Gath is like a monster, I think, but you just need better setup than...
Then Rek'Sai.
Yeah, Rek'Sai...
Rakan is like your setup.
Yeah.
But it's like not reliable.
I mean, I think it would be if they played it better. Like if you get like a Rakan flat, like I never really, and this is surprising to say it from Hakuho, but I didn't see any of those like flash RWs, you know? With like the knockup. Yeah,
that's true. He didn't make much playmaking in the mid game, and then when Doublelift had 4 items, he had QSS.
Yeah,
so it was like kind of really hard to make that play. But the team kind of relied on Rakan to set up the play, but eventually it got to the point where it's not reliable for Rakan to do that because he can't just straight jump in because Gragas can interrupt the W, right? Yeah. And so eventually Triss Lulu just starts out pressuring their entire team, and then they do a fight around Baron where Doublelift just...
He gets to play Tristana late versus tanks with low engage.
Yeah, and they just end up winning the game. It just takes a while to get there.
Yep, and like we said, this game ends up doing like 55k damage. Even though that looks crazy, it is a Shen, Lulu, Tristana comp.
Yeah.
And Syndra is the one who stalled out the mid game for the most part.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Bjerg Syndra is still really good.
Yeah.
In case any team wants to know, like, this used to be the biggest ban against TSM was Syndra at some point.
And then we get game 2, which is a 55-minute game. Woo! And TSM, I don't understand their draft that well. So, TSM, first rotations, Gragas Varus with only Elise showing. I don't get why. Tristana and Kalista are available.
The one thing is, like, if your comp is going to turn into a the reason why their earlier comp works, Syndra Tristana, is because they have a consistent damage source with Syndra that's like a kind of a bursty damage source.
Yeah.
When you're starting to play, and that's kind of what they play, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you start playing like this comp, where you have Karma, Rek'Sai, Gragas, you have 2 damage sources, and you have Varus as your hyper carry, which he's not doing damage.
Yeah, and he doesn't have like a particularly great laning phase. Like, it's fine, but it's not great. It doesn't hyperscale. It brings like a little bit of utility, but not any more than a Kalista does. So like, I don't know why you would take Varus with Kalista up ever.
I just wanted to see more damage with the pick, because their comp needed so much damage.
Well, right, and I understand why they put the Gragas top lane, because they end up having Elise Renekton, and you're like, okay, fuck, I need something that's relatively safe topside.
Yeah, which by the way, TSM also does another wonky pick going for Karma, and then the third game they go for
Nami.
So like their support
They played
picks,
Lulu, Karma, Nami.
Their support picks are like 6 patches old, 7. And to be fair, there's some situations where I actually think their picks are fine.
Sometimes, yes. Ole played Lulu once when he was heavily banned out. There's like 4 support bans, and it made sense in the comp, and it's a fine Lulu pick. But like, they'll pick things when there's plenty of like supports up that you can go, and I think it's pretty atrocious.
Yeah, and so this game, what ends up happening is there's a lot of pressure mid lane. Essentially, what ends up happening is
so they have Lucian mid, which is a little weird.
Yeah,
on the side of Envy.
Sven starts camping mid lane. And then Lyra starts turning the gank. So, like, it's 1-for-1, but Lyra's coming out ahead.
There's a lot of, like, 1-for-1-ish kills this game early on. And yeah, like you said, oftentimes Lyra's just, like, there. So, like, the dive mid, Sven uses his ult to get the final hit of damage underneath the turret, and then, like, Lyra just cocoons him and gets the trade kill.
Yeah, and so Lyra is pretty much their only AP damage source. And he comes out starting 6-0 this game, rushing Leandries. So, he's just off to a monster start, hard to itemize against Elise. Doing a great job. But what ends up happening and how the game kind of breaks open is the mid tower just dies. Like, Lucian starts getting enough pressure, chips on the mid tower to where...
Didn't they Rift Herald it or something? I think they dropped a Rift Herald on it.
I think how it ended was at least Lucian just walked up and just killed it.
Yeah, well, I think they Rift Heralded it down. Maybe I'm thinking of a different series. I'll drop that.
I'm not sure. Maybe they did.
Whatever. Either way, I think they got it low and then they just walked up and took it later. Because with the Elise and the Lucian.
I think that so they didn't herald it. It is game 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in game 2, it was just Niski just eventually gets that kind of lead. Which, by the way, Niski actually played this game like a monster.
He played
super well.
Lucian mid against a Syndra and like a pretty hard comp to play it against with basically no support.
Right.
And didn't feed his brain out early.
And not just that, how he team fought the fights, he cleaned up by flashing in on almost all the situations. And it's not like he flashed it with like a Janna or like a Lucian.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. He has no support here.
Exactly. Like, he is doing very, very difficult team fights by himself and coming out very, very, very ahead.
So what ends up happening in this game is eventually, once again, TSM kind of just gets a Baron. They like, Envy's not set up in the right spot. TSM just goes to Baron, 5-man takes it.
But the hilarious thing is, they're sieging bot with Baron, and then
Bjergsen has no flash.
Yeah, Bjergsen just gets caught with the slow, and then just gets called down. Eats the whole Koli and just dies.
And this is still when they have their Baron buff. Like, they were a little bit behind. They get the Baron. They're slowly coming back in the game when this happens.
And the rest of the team is already running away. So
they're like, okay, Bjergsen's dead. Back off.
No, Bjergsen was like wanting to get like the last skill shot before he left, and then he just slowed and just cooled down. And then TSM does this thing where they lose the fight 5-0.
Well, they were kiting it out fine. They were trying to disengage, and then Hanster's just like, hey, wait a minute. I got an ultimate. Why don't I just use my ultimate? And then he puts like Braum and this fed-ass Elise on top of double lift.
Yeah, and he gets stunned, dies instantly.
Yeah.
Which...
It's like, oh, they're your damage dealers, both dead. Way to go. That was probably one of the worst Gragas plays I've seen in a really long time.
And this goes to show, like, this very rarely happens for TSM. I don't even recall the last time I've seen them get clean aced. Ever.
I mean, it had to have happened in one of their losses relatively recently.
It's almost never 5-0. You know, in a position where they have, especially when they have Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that you're like, all right, I'm ready for the TSM 2-0, even though it was pretty slow and ugly. Like, they got it, and then this happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit.
And then you're like, oh wait, they win. The lead just gets ballooned to 14K, and the game's about to be over. But
Bjergsen.
But what ends up happening is Apollo, when the mid tower's at 1% health, Apollo steps up, gets stunned by Syndra, gets bounced back by Hanser, and dies instantly. And then they can reverse push all the way down for the inhib. And the game stalls out again, super long time. The entire time, what happens is, like, as you're doing these team fights, and the front lines are kind of meeting each other, Varus just tries to output as much damage as humanly possible. And sure, he does a lot of damage.
He does a good job, but you're on Varus compared to a Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw Lucian, who's hitting Rek'Sai, and they're just crushing them.
Yeah. So this is a game that, over a certain period of time, if Bjergsen doesn't keep finding those kind of insta-gibs on Kog'Maw, they have no way of really getting to him reliably.
And I thought TSM played this game almost as well as they could have from behind. Like, they understand what they needed to do from behind, like getting the pick on Kog'Maw.
You mean after they gave up the fucking ace?
Yeah, after they gave up the ace.
Okay, yeah, I was like, they played awful this
my
game.
bad. Yeah. I mean, after they gave up the ace, like,
they're so far behind.
Right. I think the mark of a good team is, like, understanding, like, how they come back. And that's why TSM, usually if they're behind, you still have faith in them that they're able to come back because they know what to do to get back there.
Yeah, so they do a decent job stalling out, but finally, after like a lot of really long team fights with nobody dying,
they're like split pushing and then...
Yeah, finally there's a big bot lane fight where Niski goes off really hard.
Gets like a quadra kill.
Flashes forward, kills Bjergsen. He actually got super lucky because right before he flashed in, Bjergsen used an E and a ball. I'm pretty sure it just timed out right before he used E, so it didn't stun Niski, and then he ulted him. And through the Maw of the Malmortius and stuff, it only took him to like 30% health.
He's a European mid laner. You think he doesn't calculate that?
I was thinking maybe he saw it timing out and he knew he didn't need to be scared because, you know, there is that like little animation of the ball kind of like collapsing.
Yeah, maybe that was lucky. But honestly...
I don't know how lucky it was. I'd have to rewatch it, but he was like in stun range, did not get stunned, and then continued forward, got ulted. He's at 30% health. And that's when right after that, he made the flash play, which was sick at that point.
Yeah, maybe he got a little bit fortunate. I just think his execution throughout most of the team fights this game...
Well, he was really good. And this game, that last fight, he gets a quadra after he kills Bjerg.
All right, so final game of the match. This game, TSM wins. And when they win, they go back to Syndra Tristana.
Great.
And they pick Nami, because... And
Nami gets killed early. Yeah,
like Nami, you pick Nami and Karma to win lane. And the reason why these champions fell off is because Doran Shield came back. So when you're playing lane against this kind of stuff, like it's not as
Ancient
impressive.
Coin's better, by the way, now too. So like that also has more sustain on it, and it's better than.
Which I think is really funny adaptation by Envy to be like, oh, you're picking lane support. We're gonna also pick a lane support and smash you guys doing it.
Yeah.
So they ended up picking Xayah Karma, and they just like crushed the bot lane.
Yeah. So
to the point where the game before, I think Double F had a 20 CS lead, and in this game, Xayah Karma get a huge lead, like 30 CS, first tower, and...
What was Niski on again this game?
He was on Talia.
Yeah, that's right.
So from the very start of this game, like, what ends up happening is TSM does a 3-man bot play that gets turned by Lyra and I think the mid lane TP or top lane TP. So it's a 2-0 for Envy. Envy starts out with leads.
Yeah, they're winning this game again. They won all 3 early games.
Yeah, which is... I think if you're going to play against Envy, you have to keep track of Lyra. Because almost all the action's happening around Lyra. It should not be that they get this many free early games. Because this is the only way Envy can win.
Yeah, so... I mean, I think for the most part, Envy has looked a lot better in the mid and late game this season. It just happened to be against TSM this time.
Oh, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It should be really happy to be playing the game so close to TSM because they're locked for playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So all this is essentially just practice for them.
Yeah. Anyways.
Apollo and Hakuo are up 20-30 CS. They break the tower. And unlike FlyQuest earlier, Hakuo and Karma completely wards bot side so that Xayah can extend her CS lead from 20 to like 30 CS. And so they're really far ahead of the opposing bot lane.
I want you to take me all the way up till Envy's Baron, and then I'll take it from there. If there's anything else you want to say.
Oh, okay. And it's so funny. At the point where as soon as the wave bounces back, Double and Bio finally push out the bot lane. They get TP'd on and they get 2 for 0. So they're 0 for 4 bot lane, just completely out of the game. And then I actually have not much till the 30-minute mark from that point.
Right, because what happens is Envy is just bad about extending their lead. And like TSM actually do a good job relatively trading objectives and staying even-ish in the game.
Yeah, Tristana slowly farms out and like makes the lead not that much.
We talk about the gold leads like growing or shrinking or staying the same. This is one of the games where like the gold lead stayed the same for the most part. And Envy grabbed a couple dragons. I think they ended up with 1 more or 2 more dragons.
Yeah. And then this is the play where TSM ends up having Double solo the dragon and Envy just starts the Baron.
You're not talking about the Elder Dragon, right?
No, I'm talking about the play before that. So
yeah.
TSM has a situation 30 minutes down the line where Double starts soloing the dragon. And TSM has done this in the past where like...
They even do it later this game.
Yeah. I think it's happened twice this game where TSM is dragon. But this time, Envy is like, okay, we got it this time. They just rush the Baron.
And they take the Baron, and they're able to get out. Only Seraph dies.
Yeah, they lose one person for the Baron, which is pretty good.
Pretty good. And then they proceed to have the worst Baron usage I think I've ever seen this year, where they legitimately, like, okay, they escape through the top side. TSM pushes up the top wave after chasing them. They loop back around towards mid. They push it in, but they don't actually stay and take the turret. They reset now. So they waste the first minute instead of just resetting right away. Fucking Seraph respawns and starts running bottom. Apollo recalls and goes top and starts pushing top out. So no one's really pushing mid in. It takes them forever. Finally, Apollo gets the wave at top past the river. And then he starts going mid. And then Bjergsen pushes out. So he turns around and goes back top. He's like top for 2.5 minutes. They still haven't pushed in mid. Cho'Gath's grouped up there now. But they don't have their, Xayah, which TSM knows. So they don't feel comfortable pushing up. And they sit there, literally do nothing with their Baron. And with a plus 1,500 power play, which is exactly how much gold you get for getting Baron. They literally did not increase their gold any more than the Baron gold that they got.
The best thing is when they finally did push out as a team at 36 minutes after the Baron buff's completely gone, TSM is just sitting in the right side mid push, and Bjergsen, no hesitation, hits Haku with a stun, flashes over ulti, somebody dies to Nami, like, he'll bounce off.
Yeah, it was just like Baron's coming up, Elder Dragon's coming up, both people are just kind of posturing, and then, yeah, Bjergsen just makes a huge play.
Yeah, that happens, and Bjergsen Syndra, just whatever, he's the playmaker, gets the free pick on Haku, they win the team fight, get both buffs, game's over.
Yeah, they get both buffs, and during this time, they literally, if you want to see how to use Baron properly, they all reset after Baron, they charge down mid and top, they have their top laner pushing in the side lane so he can TP in if he needs to. And then they fucking push in the mid lane, rotate up to the top side, take top turret, rotate back to the bot lane, take that one, take 2 inhibs in 1.5 minutes. To Envy taking nothing the entire Baron. They reset, they go bottom, they push up again, they take a team fight, they win the team fight, they end the game.
This is why TSM's going to Worlds, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. It was just like the perfect example of like how to be awful with Baron and how to not be awful with Baron. And yeah, there you go. TSM win the series.
Woo!
Woo! Very not convincing at all out of TSM. Like you can see that they're clearly one of the top teams in the NA, like about the game, but they are so far off this patch. I think.
Yeah, I think not only is the meta not great for them, but also historically their early games haven't been amazing either.
I think should be a fine meta for them.
I think it's a good meta for them, but they
don't know it yet.
Yeah, especially like their early games. I feel like you should have more of a plan going into Envy than like what they did, which is like play their style, win with their style. Like I really did like the goal of playing against Envy is controlling Lyra, and if you can do that, you can win against this team really easily, in my opinion, or like at like an okay pace. I felt like they should not have lost 3 consecutive early games in a row. That's just like that's not what the tied with rank 1 team should be doing against Envy. Okay, all right. So
as we lose the screen right now, I am setting up the power rankings. I need an add image. Yes.
So anyways, while we're waiting, we're now going to the power rankings portion of our segment. This is week 8 of our power rankings. People who have never been here before. 1, what have you been doing with your life? And 2, our power rankings are on a weekly basis where we rate how strong we think the teams are right now on a week-by-week basis.
Yep. Oh, God, I have to add every team to this, don't I?
Oh God.
Oh my God. We're not doing up and down arrows. Or maybe we will. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Because this doesn't have our old last week's power ranking. And that one was with Yuna. Fuck the arrows.
Because we were supposed to. You wanted me to look at Yuna's power rankings. I didn't look at them. So you wanted me to check them out while I was here.
Yeah, but they're not on this one. I'd have to pull up on Twitter.
Did Yuna did the Yuna's power rankings were they good or were they awful?
I mean, I actually agree with it for the most part. Like we did them together.
Oh, okay. So they have to have been good because you got his back.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, what?
Oh, what's up, everybody?
Wait, I gotta sit up now. No, I'm good. I'm gonna lay back.
Yeah, you're good.
Whew. I said it was the easiest week, did I? This week? Do you think this week's easy?
Not particularly.
I don't think this week's that easy. I think maybe you can get top 6, bottom 4, right? Because you have the playoff teams decided, and it's pretty clear. There's like a little bit of a divide, except for maybe like the very middle that meets the 2, right? Aside from that, some of the teams are really close. Like when you're looking at these games, you're just like, oh, NB took TSM to 3 games.
Oh my God, we don't even have the fucking images on here, the team logos. We don't have the team logos.
We might be in trouble. We're using new production equipment, by the way, guys.
AKA a new laptop.
And so because of this, because we were worried that the old laptop wasn't good enough, I
was fine with the old laptop. I had no problems.
Okay, I had problems with it because the laptop literally FPS dropped and lagged if the power cable was like tilted the wrong way. Like
and one of the USBs didn't work.
One of the USBs didn't work. Like it was just like it was terrible to work production on.
I can write in names of teams.
All right, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna just gimmick it. It's okay.
All right, we're
going old school. All right, so
I don't know why our production guy isn't here. Just because it's his birthday, he thinks he can take that off to go hang out with his family or something.
Oh wait, no, it's not just that.
Well, I know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm his fucking roommate, dude. I know.
Okay.
But that's the story I'm gonna tell the fans.
Well, he told them yesterday on GLT. I was like, oh man.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is like a clash of emotions right here.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I thought that he wasn't gonna tell.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, Josh is busy for today, so we lost our production person
for the day.
So because of that, you're stuck with 2 people who are
inept,
not very competent at it. So we're gonna use the handy dandy text tool available to us in OBS called text.gdi or something.
Text parentheses GDI plus.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna just write. Well, I'll write the teams in as we go.
Okay. So at the very top, do you want to start top or bottom?
Let's start bottom. I feel like it's much easier.
Okay, so bottom is TLP1.
Basically between those two.
Yes.
I think even though FlyQuest looked pretty bad this week.
I still put them above.
I'd still put them above.
So I actually, because P1 beat CLG. Actually, do I want to put it that way?
Didn't TL beat? Aren't they like 3 and?
They've won.
They lost 2 this time, but they looked all right with rain over.
The problem is like I don't understand the roster changes. I have no idea what they're doing. I understand. Okay, we're gonna pick up 16 different players. Cool, but what are they doing?
You don't have enough time to ever figure out what is a good lineup.
Exactly. It's like, all right, this week we're gonna use 2 games of Dardock. 1 game of Dardock. We just put Dardock in 1 game. Oh, we won with Rainover, so the first thing we gotta do is put in Dardock. Wait, he lost? That's so weird.
Put Rainover back.
Put Rainover back in. Wait, he lost too? Mickey, where you at?
Mickey did not make it this week.
Yeah, so it's like I actually just want to put TL last because I just think the only thing I will say about TL right now is I actually think Piglet's playing great.
I think Piglet's playing great, and I think Rainover, for the most part, is doing well.
Yeah, I actually, I'm always the type of person that's, maybe a little bit against Piglet, but I think every time I've seen TL play, I'm like, wow, Piglet's, hard carrying their early game.
They put up, who'd they play in their second series that Rainover went off in a little bit? It was like C9 or CLG or some reasonable team.
Yeah.
And the series with Dardoch was just a complete like throwaway
disaster.
game.
0-2.
Yeah, so it feels to me like if they just stuck with their 5-man roster of what they've had since the start of the split, they would probably be better than P1. But since they're flip flopping right now, I think it makes sense to put them 10th.
Yeah, like I would also agree that like they're better looking than I expected, especially their bot lane. But I have no idea what roster I'm looking at every week.
Yeah, it's the kind of oh my god, why
is it backwards?
Is it down? What the wait? What though? It's upside down and backwards.
Josh,
what happened?
Josh, come back.
Wait, tell me this isn't right. Look, it says liquid.
How do you flip it?
I don't know.
I've never done that in my life.
I literally did nothing. All right, we're gonna try take 2.
Oh, I've never ever flipped a text file.
I've never done that either. I just wanted a different font. I did this before.
Maybe the font is like it makes it backwards.
No, look, it's right.
That's so
it's
weird.
Not backwards.
That's so weird.
What the fuck was that?
Okay. Anyways, Liquid is. I would think that maybe they're better than P1 because honestly, I'm not.
I wouldn't be surprised if they finished above if they just stopped moving people around.
Yes. At the moment, I have no idea what roster they're going with at any week or any of the decisions or any of that kind of stuff. Only thing I'll say is I think that for the most part, their bot lane's played pretty well.
Yep, I would agree.
I like it. All right, moving on to rank 9, easy. It's P1.
Easily P1.
So, what I can say about P1 is now that the meta shifted away from carry-oriented junglers, they're still trying to brute force carry-oriented junglers. Now it's not working. It worked okay for them today.
Well, but that felt like CLG kind of played into that style where like they could have just chose not to go for level 1 invades. They could have just
waited, right?
Yeah, and they took the fights.
So like similar to a lot of lower rated teams, P1 tends to fall under the problem of not really understanding how to play out mid games, even with leads. They're a team that tends to maybe get some leads here and there. Mike Young's not playing bad.
But they need kills to win.
Yeah, they need explosive openers to win games, and they're not getting that in the tank meta.
Yep. I'm fine with that. That brings between FlyQuest and Echo Fox.
This one's kind of weird for me because I actually don't know. My gut instinct is Echo Fox is 8, and FlyQuest is above.
See, I think it kind of goes back to that TL thing where, like, if Echo Fox is always fucking around with their roster, I agree. It's probably...
I think they're done with the mid lane swap. They're just keeping the Froggen in, okay?
Yeah.
So their top lane is kind of still unstable a little bit, and then their AD is like...
I think it should be Keith. Like, I don't think Mash is that great. I mean, obviously, neither are that great.
To be fair, Mash, I've also heard, is like one of the only few shot-calling ADs. So I don't know in terms of...
But they don't win with him. Their record with him is so much worse than their record with Keith.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm with you on the same idea that even if it's just not the Monty switching in, they're still switching in too many players.
Yeah. That said, they are still... Like, so they have more victories than FlyQuest. FlyQuest got obliterated today.
Yeah, and a lot of that's...
And Echo Fox went to 3 games against both Dignitas and TSM this week. They had a tough week.
That's not bad. Yeah, I actually, because of that, I put them above. One of the things that that worries me about FlyQuest is just like individual skill wise. We've always talked about how like Balls and Lemon like may not be doing great, and a lot of the game is really just me watching Moon and being like, how hard can he carry this game?
Yeah, him and High. Like,
no, it's not even High anymore. For me, it's like Moon literally sets up the early game. First 10 minutes is all him, almost, and then High comes in like kind of as a follow up or like as they transition into mid and late, which is like, yeah, I think if Moon doesn't get this team going, they never win.
Yeah. Echo Fox played TSM last week. Whatever. They took him to 3 games last week.
Yeah. To be fair, Moon is doing... I actually think Moon's playing really well. On a team that looks really bad, Moon is doing like his best, especially early, to get them going. I'm down.
I personally would still put Echo Fox above them.
You think Echo Fox is higher?
I think Echo Fox is higher, yeah.
Why?
I think that when they don't fuck around with their roster, they're actually not that bad. Where like they have legitimate carry potential out of Froggen, Acadian's pretty good. I think he matches Moon for the most part. Like, I don't think Moon's significantly better. And then both their bot lanes can be a bit of a train wreck. Both their top lanes are pretty inconsistent, but they have such an advantage in the mid lane. Wait, Froggen just plays Corki every game and goes off, basically.
Or Talia.
Or right? Talia, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly... Froggen always has that CS. I think he had one game where he's had a deficit in 5 games.
He has the highest CSD at 10 in the league before this week. I'm not sure what happened after.
I think it's still...
I'm sure it's there. It's him and Jensen.
Oh, well, no surprise to me. Oh, I don't think we're arguing for anything at all. I actually do agree with you that I think Echo Fox is higher because I worry about the FlyQuest kind of... Their way of winning is so weird to me, where it's like, let's just hope we pop off really hard.
Yeah, and just like the 0-6 games that happen. Like for the most part, on Echo Fox, as bad as they are, you don't have the 0-6 games out of anybody like you had out of Lemon today, or you'll have out of Balls or something.
Yeah, where.
Oh god, it's gonna take me forever to fill this shit in.
It's okay. I say this as I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you just like, hey, I want you to
It's okay.
Why don't you do something?
I am, dude. I'm the camera. I'm the on-air talent.
Yeah, but you're talking to me. Talk to them.
I'm the eye candy. I don't need to talk. I just need to look good.
I don't know about that.
He's just jealous he didn't get the part. It was a clear audition.
No one trusts you with computers,
and I won.
dude.
Are you serious?
You don't even know what an Ethernet cable is.
Dude, are you... I'm not gonna argue with this guy.
You can't even spell RAM.
Okay, so from this bottom 4, where do you want to go? 6 or 1?
I still think working up is easier, right?
Okay.
Like, well, I don't know how. What do you think?
I think when you look from the top bottom, I think you're arguing for top 2, right?
Yeah.
And then you're arguing for...
Well, I don't even know. So like that's why I'm pretty sure like I'm still between 3 at the top.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start from 6.
All right.
Which is actually really...
It's really simple.
You think it's Envy?
Yeah.
They played a pretty good series today.
They played a good series, but they were just like no matter what happened in the game, they were still failing to like build leads. They would never expand their leads. Between like 10 and 30 minutes when they had leads, it almost never grew.
While that is true, I don't necessarily think it means that they're the 6th place. Okay, so the competition is between them, Dignitas, CLG.
C9.
Oh, shit, them C9.
Yeah, wait, what are you talking? You think CLG's as far for 6th?
No.
Are you on crack?
They're not. I forgot about C9. I always think C9's like top 3.
No, they're
so low.
They're tied with Dig for 4th.
They're so low this season. Envy almost did beat TSM today. I understand why people will look at that and be like, they're a good team.
Yeah.
And I think they just have really clear strengths and really clear weaknesses.
I agree 100%.
Whereas if they're playing against a team that isn't adequately prepared for them, they'll look really good.
But if you are prepared for them,
they'll look
like
awful.
CLG was. They got blasted by CLG super hard. Omar God's first series as a starter didn't even look close.
He didn't even have to play the game. It could have been a 4v5.
Yeah, and anyone could have played that jungle game just because they had such a good plan for dealing with Lyra.
I will say though, this is probably one of the closest top 6 we've had ever.
Right. I mean, everyone's 500 or above, and you almost had this team beating the #1 team who ended up, tying.
Yeah, no. Well, generally, I say this as in, like, going into playoffs, I'm, like, happy with these teams. Like, I think they're all...
I think it's going to be a great playoff.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be one of the best playoffs ever. But I'm down to put Envy here. For the most part, actually, I like Envy's fascination with Cho, though. I think that it's actually good.
I just think they need to give him a little bit more help.
Yeah, that's not Rek'Sai. That'd be nice.
I think Hakuho on a playmaker is a great way to do that, but they just don't tend to have him on something.
Yeah, I would say maybe more priority into Morgana for Hakuho might be good.
I like Morgana. I like his brawn.
Yeah, I like both of those. Rakan not so much, but he does, like, I actually think Sarah's playing the Cho'Gath pretty well early, and he's doing good for, like, early to mid, and then like Cho'Gath late game is impossible to play. You're just a walking body.
Yeah, he both time like I don't think he's playing great, but he doesn't really get smashed, and he finds kills like small skirmishes. He always gets a feast off.
Yeah, and I think like that's your job, right? Like I think the rest of the team is good enough to win with that being in the lineup.
Right. I think if they just gave him a little bit more help in the late game.
Okay.
This is fucking ugly.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be. Don't worry about
Are we
it.
going to tweet this one out?
Yeah.
Pretend this week didn't happen?
Okay. For 5, C9.
No debate.
It'd be between C9, Dignitas. Nah, I think...
No, I'm with you. I just wanted to see if I could push you a little bit.
No, dude. Maybe if it honestly, I'd put them lower if Jensen wasn't having record-breaking seasons.
I mean, you just look at the series that they won against TL, right? Where it's just his Orianna just goes off so hard, and they tried to do that different style one time.
Oh God.
Oh my God, what's this mod spam, dude? That dude's popping off all the time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Anyways, I don't think I just think that they rely so heavily on Jensen to do well. Their Impact is not necessarily playing well at all right now, and that's a really big problem. I would say outside of the Sneaky and Smoothie as well. I think maybe Smoothie's starting to be back in the meta where he's very comfortable in. With Tarek, all that kind of stuff, Blitz. I think it's actually pretty good for him now. Sneaky's not having a great season in my opinion.
I don't think Sneaky's playing very well actually.
Yeah, and so it's really just if Jensen wasn't playing out of his mind, this team would be 6 or lower.
That's how I feel, and I think this week a lot of people are going to be higher on them than they should be just because it was Fly and TL, and those are literally our 8th and 9th place teams. They beat Dig in both series they played this split. That's great. How about the other teams that people have to play?
Yeah, it's not just about the head-to-head record, man. If it was the case, and you look at TSM versus Envy, you'd assume that both teams were about equal skilled. Where it's no, they're so far apart, heaven and earth.
Yeah, I think one thing we can say for C9 is that it should work out for them. I feel like this team has a lot of room to go way up in terms of where they will be. Because I think it's a great meta for Smoothie. I think Contract has been playing super well, and Jensen's been a monster all season. It's just their top is a wasteland right now.
Yeah, I think that Contract has really stepped up this season with Jensen, and Smoothie's trying to finally found his groove back. And I think that's really all the pieces they need to be able to have a successful team. They're not placing top 2 with this team unless their top laner Impact starts playing really well.
Impact needs to get back to last summer's playoff form for this team to really have a chance, I think. But I could see them upsetting in round 1. I could see them versus Dig or versus CLG and having a great series and winning.
I don't see them getting to top 2. It's so hard unless Impact's playing really well.
Yep. So I can see a world where C9 gets to semis, but I don't think they'll win that. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that brings us to number 4.
This is the first time ever in my life I have hyped up Dignitas just in any season ever.
Okay.
So I finally got to the point where I think Adrian and Altec are actually a good bot lane. I think the meta makes it so Shrimp can't do too many game throwing stuff, even though he's still relatively inconsistent. Keen's playing better, and I think Someday is a beast. So 4th.
You're going to put them 4th? Let me ask you this. Where do you think TSM is?
They're top 2.
They're top 2 for you?
Yes.
I think TSM looks like shit. I think their drafts are abysmal, and if they play the way that they played today versus any other of the top 6 teams that wasn't Envy, they lose.
I think they would have beat C9.
I don't think they would have beat C9.
Really?
No. Because no offense to Hakuho, but he was not playing good support champions. They're playing Karma and shit, which is that's fine situationally, but if you're going up against a Tarek, how do you win a team fight? I actually think TSM plays so bad right now. They pick Varus.
I don't think their play is that bad.
Well,
I think their draft is just really
I think
bad.
they're super hampered by their draft.
Yes. And so they have this one style, which is pick Syndra, pick Hypercarry AD, and win with it.
Yep.
And that's it. And I think that's actually...
Biofrost has the worst champ pool, I think out of any of the top supports in this list.
I actually think that with that style alone, they can make it.
Yeah, I'm not saying for sure they're 4th. I'm not saying that right now. I'm surprised that you have them top 2. Because
maybe I could see an argument for them being 3rd. But
yeah, I mean that's probably more what I'm pushing. Because I was wondering where you were going to put them. It's just like look at the other supports. All right, you have Afro, Hakuho, Ole.
It's no argument for me. I think
they have. It's one of the most important positions right now. Though.
Yeah,
and they have the worst champion pool of anybody in the support position.
I just think their drafts in general, and they've never been good at adapting really quickly to drafts.
Yeah,
I think this is something where like you're worried about them now, but they have 2 weeks to adapt around playoff time. So I wouldn't be worried going forward. At the moment, yeah, maybe even going to next week, TSM's not going to look that good. Like,
yeah, I mean they struggled versus Echo Fox. They struggled versus it was TL, right, or something. I forget everyone they struggled against, but like they haven't. When's the last time they smashed somebody? They smashed somebody. I wish I had my notes. I have my yesterday notes somewhere. Are these them?
Did they 2-0 someone on Friday? They did.
I don't remember.
They did.
Who'd they 2-0? No, they didn't. No, Friday's games were the worst Friday games ever. It was like P1 versus Echo Fox.
You're right.
It was FlyQuest or something.
Oh, man. Actually, let me think about this. Maybe CLG is 4th. Did it?
No, I don't think CLG is 4th.
Let me... God, this is...
Yeah, this is really hard.
Maybe the top 4
is super hard.
I think maybe the first place team... I'm down to...
Here's something that's interesting. CLG lost to P1, right?
Yes.
But I think they were obviously playing bad in the game. And they lost closely to one of the worst teams in the league. TSM struggled playing very well against one of the middling teams in the league. Which one looks worse to you? Would you rather say, okay, they came out and played like shit and they lost to P1? That doesn't really scare me. The way, like, I'm watching TSM struggle, playing well against a team that they should be beating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried for the TSM one, but I know that going to playoffs they'll be fine because they have more weeks.
I'm not worried about playoffs.
But if you're talking about like next week, I'm more worried. Yeah, I would be worried going to next week as TSM.
I'm pretty worried for CLG just because it's digging TSM.
Yeah, I think CLG has like the hardest schedule next week, but TSM also has. TSM is just not adequately prepared right now.
I don't know why this is such a crazy concept that like when the team is like Darshan played fucking awful today. I don't expect Darshan to play fucking awful.
I think right now before the series he was at like I would say the second best top laner in the league, if not third.
Yeah, and I think he'll be back to being fine. Like look at the series that they won this week when he was on Camille. He smashed, absolutely smashed. This series he played bad, right? I can expect him I expect him to play better generally, but like I don't expect TSM's draft to miraculously get fixed. That's like a legitimate problem that's holding them back from winning. Whereas like, yeah, people play bad. Like, I don't know. I would be pretty concerned if I was a TSM fan. More than if I was a CLG fan.
Going into next week, ooh, I'm a little bit concerned because I think that Omar needs time to develop as well. So if you talk to me about like.
That's the big question mark for CLG. That's my only question
mark.
So
my question is, do both of these concerns for both these teams mean that Dignitas gets elevated because of that?
No, not really. Like when you said Dig 4, I'm pretty alright with Dig at 4. I'm just not sure I want to put TSM top 2. For right now. Like, is TSM going to make finals again? Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Like, unquestionably, yes. I'm not saying that.
I was going to be like, I think TSM is going to make finals 100%. But... we're talking about just strength right now, which is where
like they lost. CLG lost that series because Darshan mechanically did not press E during a dragon fight and did not get a 3-man knockup, and instead let himself die. Like, does that reflect worse, or the fact that you're first picking Varus and your support pool has 0 playmaking? Which one reflects worse? Like, yes, you lost to P1 because Darshan fucked up that dragon fight and stuff like that.
Did Tony pay you off this week, dude?
Yeah, Tony. I saw Tony. He was like, "Hey, dude, look, you gotta throw some shit. You gotta just confuse the fans. Just say random shit."
Like, we lost to P1 today, but like, here's $100, dude. Just you know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm okay to start at 1.
Yeah, I think 1.
1 is just Immortals.
Immortals for sure.
This team is playing really well right now. What else do I have to say? Xmithy and Ole are going godlike on almost every game I watch them play. Pobuster's playing well. Even Flame is looking good here and there.
The only thing you'd say is like their drafts are like a little bit weird sometimes. They're the best well-rounded team, and they play great. Yep. I would agree 100%. They don't seem to play much Maokai or Cho'Gath, which is like a little scary. But they also still feel like they know what they want to do to win. Like they're gonna put him on Corki mid. We're gonna have Tristana, Jhin, or whatever the fuck for Cody. Most likely Jhin, and then Ole's gonna play some kind of Bard or some shit, go off, have a great game. Flame's going to be good topside, and Smithy's going to make the necessary ganks on Jarvan or something.
Yeah, I think that it's a really good meta for Smithy, actually. Even though he's known for his Lee Sin, the best thing that he does, like, he actually plays tanks really well. Like, Gragas, Jarvan, he's always been good on those two.
Yep, they did lose to Dig. Went 1-1 this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's generally what I think. I think if you as a top team can lose and still be the best team.
Yeah, I think with how close they are, given the fact that there's almost a 3-way tie for first.
The question is, it's like, I still think they're the best and most well-rounded of all the teams there. You know, sure they ended up losing to Dignitas, but
yeah, they have like a weird fascination with Jhin, which hurts them sometimes. It feels like, and Dig picked triple tank to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's not saying like even though like we're rating 1 to 4, it's not like these teams are like this far, like light years apart. It's a very, very close power rankings, which could go pretty much any way you want it to.
I think the gap between like 1 and 4 is almost as big as between 4 and 5, or like 4 and 6.
I could see that. It's probably bigger than 4 and 6.
Yeah,
sure.
4 and 5 maybe not, but like still pretty big. All right, so why don't you put Dig 4?
Oh man, that's scary because I think Dig is actually looking really good.
I think Dig looks super good.
The thing about Dig looking really good is I think I would have I ever put Dig as 4th or higher going to playoffs. I've never ever considered Dig to be a top 4 team going to playoffs.
But they never had Adrian.
I mean, they're looking really good. I think them being 4 is good, but a lot of people will be mad because Dig beat Immortals.
I mean, Dig did beat Immortals.
And then when you look at this, okay, so CLG. So one of the things that people are definitely going to bring up, I've seen this stat being thrown around a lot. CLG is currently pretty much his only loss against top teams.
Yep.
They have like losing records against all the top teams. What do you think about that?
They don't have against all. Wasn't it just their 4th loss, or is this their 5th loss?
There's their
fourth
loss.
5th loss.
Something like that.
I think they're 11-5, and TSM and Immortals are 12-4. And their 5th loss is to P1. So who else did they lose to? I know they lost to TSM. I know they lost to Immortals. They've lost to Dig and C9 or something.
I think they're 0-4. They're 0-4 against top teams.
I know. I'm asking you who they lost to though.
I don't remember
because they have to play Dig again and they have to play TSM again. But that means they're done with C9. And they're done with Immortals.
They lost to Dignitas, TSM, Immortals.
And they have to lose to one more.
Immortals twice.
Immortals twice then.
Because remember, Dardoch is 0-5 against Immortals?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you laughing, dude? That
was just a noise. Clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think about that? That's going to be the thing that people are going to bring up the most.
That's a concern. I mean, the other top teams have lost to lower seeded teams. Is that a problem?
For me, it's not so much of a problem because I think it just shows like relative in terms of consistency. But it's a problem that they haven't beat top teams. Because then most would argue that that would mean that they're the dividing line between a great team and a bad team.
I mean, I understand the argument. I'm just not sure like how much I believe it. It does feel a little bit like when you get up to a certain mechanical level, they start to struggle a little bit more because like their bot lane actually doesn't look super great. They played really bad this series versus P1. Arrow like went in hard with Kalista, so I can kind of see that being a bit of a concern.
I think the biggest problem with me is like I would actually be completely fine putting TSM as 3rd, but my problem is the 2 remaining teams, Dig and CLG, I think are not 2 and 4 in either position.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It just looks so wrong to me to do that. So like in this situation, it would be like Immortals TSM, and I'd be fine putting like the rest of them down. In 3,
man,
4.
what a great power ranking that we end up with the standings.
Is that the standings?
Yeah, literally the standings.
Oh, you say that we don't care about the standings.
I don't care about the standings, but I just don't. I don't know. I hate the way TSM looks. Honestly, I think it looks bad. I think that they play the game great, but like, you can't give away a Baron and just pray they don't do anything. Like, they didn't defend that Baron. Like, Envy just doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, yeah,
I look at that. I look at how they almost lost.
I completely agree with you. I'm 100% fine putting them third. But the problem is like, if we put them third, and we have to be like,
yeah, we have to put
this team is better than TSM, and this team is worse. And I look at COG and Dignitas, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
So like in that situation, like I think in one facet, I would put Dignitas second and COG fourth. But I don't think COG is a fourth place team. Or maybe they are, honestly, because they lost to P1. I'm okay with that, right? So then it's Immortals, Dignitas, TSM. The thing is, it's like if I look at TSM and Dignitas, like realistically, just like TSM's better. Even they're drafting like some stupid
like
comps.
You see Diggs draft and you're like, oh my god, they got Maokai, they got like, I don't know,
everything,
Kled, Cassio,
everything they ever wanted. Ignore the Karthus game, and then
if you forget that Karthus game real quick, and then TSM, you're like, oh, they have to play Syndra. Actually, they can probably play whatever they want mid lane, but
it'd be like Syndra Talia.
They need to play Trist.
Yeah,
they gotta play Karma, Lulu, Nami.
I agree with you. I think that they're looking not great right now. 100%.
But how not great?
Oh, so are you making an argument for fourth?
No. I'm just wondering. You tell me fourth, and I'll either agree or not agree.
TSM third, second. Oh god.
You don't have to do it. Don't let me peer pressure you.
I don't want to put Dig second.
Ugh.
I don't want to put CLG fourth either.
Ugh.
Just like I don't really want to put CLG second either.
Ugh. Everything just sounds ugh.
Everything.
Right? Can we just give them all third?
Everything just sounds awful. I'm down. Like, but I feel like that's such a cop out.
That's such a cop out. You can't cop out. We're not bitches.
Yeah, we don't cop out.
We don't cop out.
Are you? So there's a situation
bitches
where we could do Immortal COG, Dignitas TSM. But I think that there's no way.
I don't think CLG is number 2.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So it would have to be Immortals TSM.
Yeah, I think it does.
Like, that's just how it ends up. Because even with them playing this random stuff where they just throw their draft like left and right, they're still a really good team.
Yeah, they still in game don't make that many mistakes.
Yeah. So okay. I don't want to talk about the early game against Envy, but for the most part, they're a good team.
Fucking Cop is sick. Put us second.
Wait, how is he modded here? What the heck?
Wait, was that modded or was that? Did Cop have a sword?
I don't know, dude.
Where's this?
I see him, dude. I see him in here. All right, let's do.
I like how Tony didn't show up today.
Yeah.
Tony's like, God damn it, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a mod.
What the fuck? We're going TSM into. You want to do CLG Dig or Dig CLG?
I'm down with Dig CLG.
I think Dig CLG is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, baby. Same as the power rankings.
No, it's not. You put Dig higher.
Oh, really? Dig's not third? Oh, yeah, Dig is lower.
Dig is 4th, tied with 5th, C9.
Really? They're playing...
CLG stands alone at 3rd.
They're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they've been on a good tier.
They're playing actually really well.
Is Cop freaking out because we didn't give him 2?
No, dude, are you serious?
Probably fucking left.
Yeah, as soon as he saw that, he heard that, he's like, I'm out, man. I mean, I think this is the first time Dig has ever been in playoff form, going to playoffs. I'm serious.
I know what you're saying. It just sounds really funny. Because sometimes they're like first for like 5 weeks, and then they tank, and they end at like 500.
I was there, dude. I started 7-0.
Yeah.
And then we just like tanked instantly because it was like, oh, well, we just played we got the meta like instantly, and then we just like weren't that good.
I feel like next week should be super hype as long as CLG doesn't fuck it up and lose to Dig.
Oh, I can't wait to put a playoff team that in a different situation. Oh yeah, next week is gonna be great. There's a lot.
I think next week has. Did you see the games for Friday?
No.
It's like Immortals. It's CLG versus like dig an Immortals versus like Envy or something.
Oh, I'm
like
so
just like
happy.
all playoff matches.
I'm so happy it's on Friday because you can just like straight up watch each series closely and then watch the next series.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next Friday's games. It's gonna be sick. All right, there you go, people.
Wow, graphically, we're just doing great this week. Thanks, Josh, for all the production help you did.
Yeah, dude, Josh, that was great. I really appreciate you.
Yes, we're doing playoff rankings next week. So that concludes our Week 8 Greatest League Talk Show. If you missed today's episode, you want to see it again, you just love us that much, visit us on YouTube, youtube.com/Greatest League TS. Episode should be uploaded the day after every episode. Anyways,
Yep.
these are the power rankings.
Thanks for watching them. Between 1 through 4 are all ridiculously close, and
Yes.
everything else was relatively easy.
Yes. So I know if you're a fan of these teams, you're upset about where we put them. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
I didn't say that.
I said that. I feel like this is one of those ones where like next week you're gonna look back and you're like, how did we put them there? But like,
I'm okay. I'm okay with this. I like this.
Yeah, everyone's struggling a little bit right now. Everyone's losing to people.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya. I need to. I don't have the power rankings there.
It's okay. You can just cop the.
I'm gonna keep the.
Wait, just snip it.
Yeah, but you don't have snippet on this, do you?
I think everything has snip.
Does it?
Yeah, it's a snippy tool is built into Windows.
Is it? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Hold on, I gotta go back to the other scene then. We're coming back, everybody.
See, I told you I run production. Oh, here we go. It's
CLG's red.
It's fine.
No.
It's fine. You really care?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing it right.
Oh my god. Okay. Windows Shift and S is the hotkey for snipping, by the way.
I don't care.
I'm just letting you know.
Don't tell me things.
I'll be a friendly production guy.
Where's GLT?
I don't even know if we have a folder for it.
There is one, but there's nothing else. All right.
All right, just put it in there, man.
New folder. Week 8. Great. All right. We're cruising. We're doing it.
Woo! Thanks for watching, guys.
Mike's still going because I'm doing the picture first.
Oh my.
This is real slow, all right?
You know what else is slow?
Your brain?
Yes.
Oh my god, come on. All right, there we go.